So hello everyone. Welcome if you are new to the channel, and welcome back if you love me. I love you too. We're here for some astro dice. We're going to roll which sign needs the insight the most, and then we're going to roll my planet dice and my house dice to see what other placements may also be significant outside of, major zodiac sign placements. So I've already pulled all the decks too. We'll get there. So Spirit, what sign needs it more than any other today? Today meaning divine time, whenever you catch it. Pisces. Pisces, it is your day. All right, Pisces. So in addition to Pisces, what other placements may be significant, please, Spirit? First house and Uranus. All right. Uranus in the first house. You may be Uranus rising. Let's see if my camera will focus here. You may be Uranus rising. You may have significant Aqua placements or significant Aries placements. So you may also be an Aries or Aqua rising. Super significant if you are Pisces rising. Or if you have, well, Uranus and Pisces is a stretch. Okay. Like, way. I don't even know if that's possible. Just because of how long it takes Uranus to go around. Yeah, I don't think Uranus and Pisces is possible. We're not. You'd be a baby. You'd be a baby. Because I'm thinking, I'm Uranus and Sag. I'm 38. Uranus would have had to go through the rest of Sag, Capricorn, Aqua, and then get to Pisces, and it's still in Taurus. So I don't know. Uranus and Pisces, you'd be young. You'd be young if you're on this channel. Okay. Hey, Kelly, how you doing? Yeah, I don't know if it's possible for you to be watching me with a Uranus and Pisces, but it may pertain to someone who does. But we've got Uranus rising for sure, and definitely potentially Aries or Aqua rising as well. All right. Yeah, if you guys got Uranus in the first house, this would be a key for you. Okay. Oh, cool. So glad. Yeah, special nod to Aries and Aqua and Uranus in the first house. All right. I've got my Harrow cards. I've got my hand-drawn cards and my energy alignment deck for the overall. I've got the Slavic Legends Tarot, Shadowscapes Tarot, and the Mirror of the Soul Tarot for insight, and our Light Worker Oracle for guidance. So let's see what needs to come out in your highest good at this divine time, especially if you've got significant Pisces in your big three, or if you are a Uranus rising, Aqua, Aries rising. Hey, Kristen. What is going on? I feel like there's more. Because there is. Still more. Okay, and Spirit, this is going to be hella long. It is what it is, I guess. Bottom of the deck is the Twin. Top of the deck is the Liar. Ooh. Okay. Let's get a clarifying archetypal energy with the hand-drawn cards. All right. Clarify the second energy, please. And clarify the third energy, please. All right, bottom of the deck is the Key. Top of the deck, Sonar. Okay. Why am I not surprised that sonar came out during a Pisces read? Because that's the deep unconscious there. And energy alignment. Let's see where this first energy is at. Okay. Clarify the second energy, please. Hey, Risa. Happy Friday. All right. And clarify the third energy, please. Interesting. Okay. Top of the deck is considerate. Bottom of the deck actually flipped over. It's marriage material. Okay. Considerate and marriage material. All right. The first energy. We've got the desert in the reverse with the eclipse and the sickness, along with baggage upside down. Shadow does not see their own faults and pettiness, and honest in reverse. That's energy number one. For this person or situation, it's an energy, right? It doesn't necessarily have to be an individual, though it likely is. It could be a situation. The desert in reverse, misaligned, is about not knowing your way out of a certain situation and not being willing to take guidance either. The eclipse with the sickness is someone who has completely lost their sense of self or their sense of identity and are deeply ill. More than likely, psychologically, there's something off. There's some kind of psychological damage, whether we're talking about extreme narcissism and the things surrounding it, or extreme empathy and the tolerance of abuse surrounding it. Okay, because both energies on the far ends and extreme ends of the spectrum deal with psychological wounds that do need to heal. Baggage in the reverse makes me feel like whoever this person is knows that they're carrying things that they shouldn't be carrying, but they don't see their own fault and they're not honest, at least not with themselves, and it's probably projecting out at other people. So in the example of extremes, right? Someone who is empathic on the extreme end, to where we're getting into the psychological wounds that toxic empathy creates. They don't see how they're choosing it, right? They're not being honest with themselves. They might feel trapped in the situation. They have to be there for this person. They have to save this person. They have to tolerate this person or the abuse or whatever it is. The extreme narcissistic end would literally be blaming somebody else and not seeing how their behavior is detrimental to having a healthy relationship. They may even be in denial of the fact that there is anything wrong with them to begin with on either end of the spectrum, right? The empath might not see that there is anything wrong with them. It's not their fault. They're not a bad person. The person they're trying to heal is bad. You know, it's one of those things where someone's light is being eclipsed out by someone else, and they don't see it. They don't see how they feed it. That's the way Spirit's giving me this energy. It's like whoever that is, energy number one, they're lost in the desert. It's a loveless place with people that do not love them, because love is not painful. Love is not painful. The things that disturb love are painful, like dishonesty, like selfishness, like inconsiderateness, like lies. Like those things disturb the vibration of love, but love itself is not painful. Love is beautiful. I feel like someone does not see how they're giving all their power away, and they're blaming someone else for taking their power, right? It's like accusing someone of taking all their power, but not acknowledging the fact that they are literally giving it to them, though. Okay. That's the first energy. The second energy, we have the empty throne with theater and the cauldron in reverse with capable and caring reversed and receptive. This person. Because I feel like the first energy out of the different examples that I gave, it's most likely a toxic empath, right? An empath who does not understand that they're choosing the situation, that they're choosing to stay in it, that they're making excuses to stay in it. Because there might be real legit reasons why certain things would not be easily left. But if they legit have outs, they're blatantly refusing to acknowledge the outs and making more excuses to stay in it. Someone might seriously be addicted to a powerless state of being with person number one. The second person, capable and caring in reverse with receptive. Honest to God, I feel like this is someone who genuinely cares about someone else who is meant to be in their life. And they're living in what feels like a twilight zone. Like their reality is not real. The theater is all about putting on a show. I don't think they actually care about the first person, nor are they capable of caring about the first person. I think they are receptive and have a certain vision. It's a third eye chakra card. And I think that they know that whatever they're wrapped up in with the first person is a bad idea. Because they don't genuinely care about the first person. Not like that. The cauldron in reverse is spell breaking. I'm also feeling the energy of someone wanting to get sober. That might be real specific for someone. But it's like this vibe that they don't want to drink the toxicity of other people. Like whoever this person is or this energy, like they know the first person is kind of unhinged in a dark place. And I feel like whoever it is that they do care about, the empty throne, right? Whoever is supposed to be on that throne that they're kneeling before and crying over, they deeply love someone that is not in their reality. And they're going through the motions with the first person. But it's almost like the reason why it feels so out of place is because whoever was meant to be on the throne, like that's who they wanted to receive this life with. The first person's the wrong person. They didn't want to be or end up with the first energy. And the first energy is like martyring themselves into the ground, trying to get themselves on the throne, but it's not possible because it's like they're not rightfully supposed to be on the throne. They're not the rightful quote unquote heir to the throne, right? Metaphorically speaking. And this person may be considered narcissistic, but I feel like this person, because they're in each other's mirror, this person isn't taking their own responsibility to see their own faults, that maybe they should not be pulling the first person around by the nose, so to speak, like leading them on to believe that it could be something more than it is, because I don't think their emotions are in it. Caring in the reverse is callous. Capable in the reverse is martyr. Like they're sacrificing their own happiness to try to give the first person what they want, but they're truly not capable. They're disconnected. It's not resonating with them. Now the third energy. We have the Idiot card with the beating misaligned. So it's in the reverse. With the Comet in reverse and the Dream. The energy alignment cards that came out with it are threatening, tyrannical, and angry or volatile. I shit you not. The beating in reverse with the Idiot. You got to understand something about the Idiot. The Idiot is being made a fool of. They're a mockery. They're a mockery. Their powerless state is being mocked, right? The goblins on the card have put them in a mask and are torturing the individual for their own amusement. And the beating, misaligned, it suggests that during the assault, undiscovered strength is found. It doesn't necessarily mean a real life physical beating, although of course it can, but it's psychological. Feeling like you're taking the attack from all sides can also indicate the dissolution of the self mentally. Whether the strength is of the flesh or the mind, it dissolves under the attack. In misalignment, undiscovered strength is found. I feel because the Dream and the Theater are kind of giving me an idea, and I don't necessarily feel like the third energy is a third person. I feel like it's an indication of the overall scene. The Comet in the reverse. Comets still orbit around planetary systems like our sun and stuff. Like we have comets that revolve around the sun. They have those long elliptical elongated orbits. But I feel like with the Comet in reverse, it literally is something that's passing through. It's not meant to cycle around. I feel like this is a bad dream. I feel like person number 2 feels like an idiot to the emotional warfare that person number 1 is kind of putting on them. Like, I do all of these things for you. I do all of that for you. I care about you. I love you. Like, why can't you just be more affectionate with me? Why can't you talk to me? Why can't you be open with me? Why can't you treat me better? Like, all of these things, right? There's an onslaught of what feels like emotional warfare. And this person number 2 is slowly realizing that they really cannot and are not capable of loving person number 1, because they really do have someone else in mind or heart that they feel like they are meant to be with, truly and honestly, even though this person, whoever they are, is absent, even from the reading. In regards to the mirror and the situation, person number 1 might feel like an idiot because they're taking the neglect, right? They're taking the neglect or the selfishness from person number 2. You know, they're taking the silence or the inability to communicate. They're taking the selfishness. They're taking, you know, this checked out energy and trying to make it feel something for them. Angry, tyrannical, and threatening. Like, they're both holding something over the other. The threatening card, there's something they're holding over the other. Because the reverse is safe. And it's a root chakra card, so it has to do with stability. There's something between these two, and I'm sure it'll come out inside the tarot when we get more specific with the tarot. But I feel like there is something in the reality that's tying these two to each other. And so they're trying to control each other, right? That's the tyranny. They're trying to control each other. I think person number 2 wants person number 1 to just shut the fuck up and let them be. And stop nagging at them to be emotionally invested or to be more considerate or vulnerable when they're not capable of it. And the more checked out they get, they're hoping that person number 1 gets the hint. That's their tyrannical way of controlling it. They're checking out more and more and more. But person number 1's way of tyranny, person number 1's way of controlling it is to be more in their face, more combative, right? More emotional warfare, more guilt, more calling someone a piece of shit kind of thing. Like, you're a horrible person. All that I do for you, all that I care, and all that I love, and you don't give me any bit of anything, right? It's very angry and volatile, and it deals with anger at the self, because if we look at the tops and bottoms of these decks, the Liar with the Twin automatically gave me false counterpart type shit. The Lost is under that. The Lost is under that. These are lost souls. Souls that have not completed their internal work and have probably been burying it or suppressing it for a long time, and they're lying to each other. One would be super quick to turn on the other, right? The knife in the back. They might come off light. Like, person number 1 might come off light. But I feel like they've got a really destructive thread in there. And would not think twice to completely destroy person number 2's reputation to family or friends, or go out of their way to badmouth person number 2 like they're the one that's to blame, right? Because person number 1 does not see their own faults and they're petty. If person number 2 were to end up leaving person number 1, I think person number 1 would go all out war and even spread lies or rumors or tell half-truths or manipulate the facts to make person number 2 look bad. But underneath the Lost is the vision. Like, I think person number 2 is having an epiphany that they cannot stay with person number 1. There's some Chiron energy connecting them. And there's deep sadness here, because if we look at sonar, This is where we are on the surface, and we don't know who we are, right? Who we really are and our identity and all of our labels is a big question mark. But when you get down below the surface, it's the mask that we wear. Well, why do we wear masks? Because there's pain under there. Why is there pain under there? Because there's unresolved childhood trauma, right? We don't know who we are, and we're putting on these masks that everybody wants us to wear, right? That we believe everybody wants us to wear because there's pain, right? There's pain, there's fear of rejection, there's fear of not being good enough, there's insecurities, fear of being incapable, right? Fear of not pleasing everybody. And that stems from childhood wounds. That stems from childhood wounds. I think that someone is fully capable of being considerate and they are marriage material. To be fair, this could account for both person number one and person number two. Person number one might truly be a very considerate person and marriage material for the right person. Person number two is not the right person. I think person number two is also super considerate and marriage material, but they don't feel that way towards person number one. They're with the wrong person. They want to give this love and be in this considerate energy for someone else, right? Whoever is meant to be on the throne, that is empty. Hi, Mamie. How are you? Much love from the States. Hello to Africa. Yeah, I feel like both of these people, 1 and 2, are fully capable of having healthy relationships with the right people. I think the reason why it is so toxic, so bad, is because they are not with the right people. They're not with the right people. There's anger at the self, a fear of instability, and a fear of surrender, a fear of losing control, a fear of the unknown. They're both trying to control it. I don't think person number two, whoever the lost person is, right? Whoever they lost, that they're mourning, even if it's just between them and them on the inside, and they don't talk about it to anybody. Whoever they feel they've lost, capable and caring in the reverse, may be a projection that they're putting. They might think that the person that they care about doesn't care about them. They might not feel capable of loving said person. Maybe they botched it before. Maybe they don't know how their person who's gone is capable of loving them or even giving them another chance, especially if they botched it before. I think there's a certain amount of self-punishment here. I think we have someone who is being deemed narcissistic that might not truly be narcissistic. I think they're with the wrong person and they're in self-punishment because they have unhealed wounds. I think person number one might be coming off like the empath, like the victim. But they have someone who they're calling a narcissist in their reality because I think they might deal with some covert narcissism. And they don't see themselves. They don't see the emotional or psychological abuse they're putting on someone else who is not loving them. Like, they're not being honest with themselves. They're placing fault and they're being petty instead of taking ownership of the situation and leaving someone who genuinely just doesn't want to be with them, where they're not receiving any love, right? It's like trying to pull blood from a stone. Let's get into the insight. Let's get specific. We're going to start with the Slavic Legends Tarot. That's this deck right here. Okay. I know some of y'all like seeing the decks. So what is going on? Yeah, I feel like person number two cannot believe that this is their life. they might feel like they have no privacy either. Like person number one might legit talk to everybody who will hear them about how horrible they are to person number one, right? Person number one might talk so much shit about how it's all person number two's fault to everybody and anybody that'll listen. Family, friends, their coworkers, painting them out to be the bad guy. When they're not a bad person, they just they're punishing themselves with person number one. They don't feel lovable for a reason. Why? What happened? Let's get some history. Let's get some past to figure out how these two even ended up together. The 10 of Coins. The 8 of Coins reversed. The Ace of Cups. Ace of Coins reversed. Chariot reversed. Clarities, please. Okay. Got a lot of ones out here. All the aces are on the board. And 2 10s. The Knight of Wands is on the bottom. And the 9 of Swords is on top. Okay. So how these two ended up together. And I'm going to say it. I think they both went through the same situation energy-wise with different people. But it was someone that they were living with that they were non-committal to, right? I've got the 10 of Coins with the King of Wands in the reverse. They may have been really selfish and not looking at who they were with as someone they deserved. I think there was some kind of sabotage, right? Anxiety in the mind that whoever they were with that was loving them, that they didn't feel valuable to that person, right? Or that they could be valuable to this person. Like if this person saw how worthless I really was, they wouldn't care about me. I don't think they felt capable of being consistent with whoever they were living with. If it's a work situation, then it's a work situation. The 10 of Coins can be work, family, or a living situation, someone that you actually lived with. So take it as it resonates for you. But the 8 of Coins reverse with the Lovers in the reverse, they didn't put the work in. They didn't put the work in to make the relationship successful. The Ace of Cups, clarified by the 10 of Cups, I think it was a wish fulfillment. I think whatever they lost or left behind, or whatever left to them, however it worked out, it fell apart because they weren't committed in spirit, in soul. They could not commit to it. There was some kind of lack of vision. They didn't know what they wanted, right? Because the King of Wands is a visionary. It's a master visionary. They didn't know what they wanted. And they were in this Ace of Cups, 10 of Cups, 10 of Coins energy, this ideal energy, what they really did actually want in soul before their soul recognized that it wants it. They were not ready to commit because they didn't know what they wanted. But it was nothing short of an answered prayer, whatever they had and lost, it was an Ace of Cups, 10 of Cups, 10 of Coins type energy. You know what I mean? Like, they were not ready. They might have not even believed it was possible. I think they were still rather immature regardless of age, with the Knight of Wands on the bottom. They might have still wanted a certain amount of freedom and maybe were projecting their insecurities out in the form of, I need to be free. I need to be able to do what I want to do. I need to be able to live my life and blah, blah, blah kind of thing, not realizing that the things that they were fighting for weren't necessarily important compared to what they had and what they really wanted. They were in Knight of Wands energy, and they weren't anywhere close to King of Wands. Like, they don't know what they wanted. It's like someone who has a healthy relationship and has a home and has a good partner, and they still want to go out and party and drink with their friends, and they still want to smoke or do whatever they want to do, or they still want to sleep around. They don't want to label, you know, they don't want to take it to the next level, but it's because they don't know what they want. Like, why would you turn down an Ace of Cups, 10 of Coins, 10 of Cups energy, Ace of Coins in the reverse, clarified by the Ace of Wands? Like, it couldn't get off the ground. It was missing the ignition. It couldn't get off the ground. Someone was not ready. It was like the right person in the right place with the right partner, but at the wrong time. And the Chariot in the reverse with the Ace of Swords. And the truth was, the divine could not move them forward on the path. So whatever transpired, they lost the 10 of Coins and the 10 of Cups with the Ace of Cups. Like, they lost it. It never got off the ground. It never had a chance to fly. A lot of anxiety, right? A lot of anxiety with the 9 of Swords. They didn't know if they had it in them to be in a healthy adult relationship. Right person, right place, right everything, but wrong time. I'm going to use the Shadowscapes Tarot. Let's get some insight into person number one then. What is going on with them right now? Because this is how the two of these two people ended up together, right? They came out of a situation that they were not ready for and botched it. Now they're both technically marriage material and considerate, but they're with the wrong people, right? They're with the wrong people. They should not be with each other. So where is person number one? What is actually going on inside there? Let's get some specifics into the person who is sacrificing themselves, eclipsing their light, making person number two. Like, a person number one is making person number two their whole purpose to no avail, right? Their whole purpose. They're eclipsed out. They don't know who they are if they are not trying to fix person number two. Person number two doesn't actually need fixing. They just need to get rid of person number one. But where is person number one? Okay. Clarities. Person number one is still gung-ho about moving forward to the dream. They are trying to project the dream on person number two. They don't actually want to miss the opportunity to lose out on the 10 of Pentacles, which is the living situation, the physical stability. I got the 6 of Swords with the 10 of Cups, the 10 of Pentacles with the 4 of Cups, and the Ace of Pentacles with the Knight of Swords. 9 of Pentacles is on the bottom, and the 5 of Pentacles is on top. If this person were single, right? 9 of Pentacles, if this person were single, they would probably be in an impoverished state. I don't think they'd be financially secure without person number 2. And I told you there was something financial about it. There was something financially, something in the reality keeping these two together, right? That's when we were talking about the threatening energy, with safe being on the opposite side, being a root chakra card. Person number 2 started creating this dream inside their head, and they want the dream on paper. They want to have the house, they want to have the kids, they want to have the dog, they want to have all the pets or whatever. They want to have the brand new kitchen, they want to have the nice car, they want to have all of these things, right? They want the dream on paper. Even if it's an emotional, psychological, mental fucking nightmare. They're dead set on having that material stability, because without person number 2, they don't have it. They're communicating all of this emotional warfare, this jargon, at person number 2, making person number 2 feel guilty, making person number 2 feel like shit. Because if person number 2 were to wake up and leave this person and believe that they're not fucked up, like if person number 2 were to actually realize, like, I'm not fucked up, I'm just with the wrong person, I don't love this person and care about this person, they're not a bad person, but they're not for me. If person number 2 were to leave, they'd take all the material wealth with them. Person number 1 does not want person number 2 to realize that. So it's like they're literally beating person number 2 down to make them feel like a piece of shit, because they wouldn't have anything without person number 2. They're trying to break person number 2 down. That's what the beating is. Psychologically wearing down on someone, the physical stress of it all, right? Wearing down on someone, that they wouldn't feel like they should move on, that they're incapable of love, they're incapable of being a good person. Like person number 1 might even say some shit to person number 2, like, who the fuck else would want you? Like, if I didn't want you, who would fucking want you? Well, person number 2 might not act this way towards someone else. They act this way towards person number 1 because they're not emotionally invested. They're not connected to them. Person number 1 doesn't actually resonate with them. But there's money tied up in here. It could be a different situation or a reverse situation where person number 1 has all of the money and is providing all of these things and being this emotional support, and is telling or communicating, right, that the Knight of Swords and the Ace of Pentacles, like, I've given you everything. I'm doing all of this for you. You know, making person number 2 feel guilty and using finances and security as a weapon, right? Because it could be the other way around. Person number 1 might be holding all of the chips, trying to draw blood from a stone, trying to draw love out of person number 2. But person number 2, it's like, you can't give person number 2 enough financial security. You can't give them enough emotional, you know, vulnerability or enough affection. They do not fucking love person number 1. And it doesn't matter what person number 1 does, person number 2 doesn't resonate with them. So it could be that scenario as well. Either person number 1 is in it with person number 2 because they're providing all of the security for them, or person number 1 is legit providing all of the emotional support, all of the financial support, all of everything, and they just love and are obsessed with person number 2 and the idea that person number 2 would love them back, but they don't. And it doesn't matter what they fucking do. Person number 2 does not feel connected to person number 1 at all. But it's like, they're such a quote unquote good person. They have no actual reason to leave person number 1 other than they don't love them. And they're being made to feel like shit for not loving them. But if someone doesn't resonate, it just doesn't resonate. Like, you can't force love. You know what I mean? Like, you just can't. And so person number 2 is being made to feel like shit because they just don't love and are connected in that way to person number 1. It doesn't matter what person number 1 does. They have no legit real life reason to leave person number 1, because on paper, person number 1 is an angel. Person number 1 is a saint on paper. And it's fucked up. You know what I mean? It's fucked up because they don't actually want to be with them and they have no quote unquote reason to leave. And if they were to leave, person number one would turn everybody and their mother against them, you know, like they would truly be alone. And it would be all their fault, you know. Let's get some insight into person number two. What is actually going on with them? What are they actually feeling? What is the situation from their eyes? Let's get into reality from person number two's perspective. Spirit, please insight into person number two. Yeah, it's definitely someone that are living together. I got the 10 of Pentacles out 3 times. These people are living together. 6 of Swords is out twice now. They both got it. Neither one wants to be with the other. I think they both want to leave, but for different reasons. I think person number one is obsessed in love with person number two and wants to move forward. 6 of Swords, 10 of Coins into the dream. But person number two is living with this person like, I need to get the fuck away. Yeah. Yeah. They don't want to be there. The 9 of Wands is clarifying the 10 of Coins. Anywhere but here. It's a burden. Being in that living situation, it's heavy. They're wounded. It's wounding them further. Like they're already wounded. It's wounding them further. But if they move ahead, they don't want to move ahead alone. They're afraid of being single. The 6 of Swords with the 9 of Coins reversed. They're afraid of being single. They're afraid that no one's going to want them. They don't feel lovable. The 4 of Wands is clarified by the Princess of Swords and the Princess of Cups with the Ace of Discs, the Hermit, and the 2 of Coins. Bottom of the deck is the Lovers. Top of the deck is the Queen of Swords. This person, whoever this person is, person number two, we were talking about how they have that empty throne and they wish that whoever was meant to be on it would be back. I think if they knew that whoever that person was would take them back, they would leave person number one without a second thought. But if that person won't take them back, then they won't leave person number one. They feel like they deserve to be punished for how it ended with whoever it was that left them. Because the Queen of Swords took the head off. She's literally holding the head there. And this is the Lover's card that came out in the overall history in reverse. And they're literally in king and queen robes. The empty throne. They want the person they lost. I think they're ashamed of themselves. Man. I think they're ashamed of themselves. They want to communicate. They want to apologize. They want a brand new foundation with someone who walked away. And they can't go back and change it. They want to change it. They want to try again, right? The Ouroboros infinity. They want to go back and recycle it over. But they would rather continue to be punished right? Self-inflicted punishment, person number 2 choosing to stay with person number 1. They would rather take the beating from person number 1 than be alone. Because they don't want anybody else but the person that they lost. Insight into said person. I'm going to pull the Hermetic Tarot. Insight into the lost person, the ghost. Whoever is missing from this scenario, that person number 2 just can't move on from. What is going on with them right now? Do you resonate as person number 2? Like, this is for you. Because you might need to shit or get off the pot, to be completely honest. What is going on with person number 2? And their person that's missing? What is going on with the person that's missing? And then I'm going to pull some guidance. What is going on with the lost love? What is going on with them right now? Bottom of the deck is death. Top of the deck is the last judgment. Double Scorpio. I got the 10 of Cups with the High Priestess. The 5 of Wands with the 6 of Swords sideways. And the Ace of Pentacles with the 9 of Wands. All right, you better listen to me, person number 2, because I didn't pull these cards for my fucking health, okay? I pulled them for you. I think that your missing person is under the assumption that you are in the 10 of Cups energy. That you got what you wanted, that you achieved some kind of dream, right? The Lord of perfected success with the 10 of Cups. And they may have found peace in their own space. They may have found peace in their own space, their own beginning. And I think you know that, right? The High Priestess here is some psychic connection that the two of you have. Person, the missing person, has probably created 10 of Cups energy for themselves. The thing is, they're conflicted about actually moving forward, though. The 5 of Wands with the 6 of Swords. And it wants to, it just wanted to flip in reverse. They're conflicted about it. I don't think this person's with anybody else, if I'm going to be real honest. There's nothing here that insinuates or implies that they could be with someone. I think mentally, even if there was some kind of disappointment in the past, even if they've moved away from you physically, even if they moved away from communication with you and you can't even contact them anymore, I don't think they would reach out to you. But I feel if you actually put in the work, right? Because the 8 of Coins was missing before. The 8 of Coins was in reverse before. If you actually made the effort and put in the work to reach out to them, impossible as it may seem, and stated your case, has been nothing to do with person number 1, because it really doesn't person number one is literally just a self-imposed prison for yourself at this point. I think that you would have to communicate with your lost person, from a place of self-acknowledgement that you were not ready to commit at the time, that maybe you were not mature enough to see yourself in the relationship that they could have created with you, right? That they wanted to create with you, that 10 of Cups, that 10 of Pentacles, Ace of Pentacles, right? All of those wonderful ones. When that answered prayer miracle showed up, right person, right place, right everything but time. I think if you stated your case to this person, that they would actually consider it. Like I said, I do not feel like they would reach out to you first. I think it's something you would have to do. And I think you would have to kind of explain how you came to the conclusion of where you are now and why you are more committed now than you were then. Because before it was non-committal. Before you didn't know what you wanted. Now you're really clear on it, though. I think you would have to state your case. And I think that it would take some effort to make it healthy, because you're trying to revive something that has deteriorated. But the Ace of Pentacles with the 9 of Wands, the 9 of Wands is great strength. In this particular deck, I was drawn to it for a reason. I think that this person, knowing it would be a bit of a test and trial in the beginning, because they're going to want to see if you actually did improve. They're going to want to see if you can actually commit and be the partner you could have, should have, would have been with them the first time around, at, you know, now that it's the quote unquote right time. I think they would actually exude a great deal of strength in allowing a new foundation to start. Because I don't actually feel like they've moved on from it yet. Even if you've been out of communication, even if it's been years, even if you're not anywhere physically close to each other, even if they've blocked you on things, I think if you actually put the effort in to communicate with this person and state your case, that they would actually hear you out. I think you'd have to be really honest about your inner process and the healing that you've been going through with this first person, because whoever this person is to you, wow, underneath the Death card is the Lovers. It's the Lovers. High divine contract, high divine connection. I think they're different with the Death card. But with the Judgment card, I think y'all have a way of finding each other. I think it has the potential to resurrect. And I think they know that. Like, they know that they are not the same. And if they can change and they are not the same, then they also accept the truth that maybe you can also change and are not the same. And may be willing to resurrect the situation. I think you'd have to spark that, though. You would have to put in the effort that was missing before. All right, let's get the guidance energy. Let's get the guidance for you. Whether you're person number one or person number two, or feel like I just spoke to you as this ghost person and you're like a fly on the wall getting a reading about the first two people. Okay. Whatever guidance needs to come through, Spirit, what would help in the highest good at this time for everybody involved. What is in the highest good for everybody to receive? Dark Angel. Card number 30. Dark Angel. Says, Dark Angel comes to you with a radical truth. Divine love is always there for you without exception. Love will never forget you. It will never stop caring for you, even when it seems most unlikely. In fact, especially then. The divine is reaching for you and nurturing you, even our wounds and ways that we can discover love and divine grace through the healing process. The divine is always helping you remember who you are and find your true joy. When the dark angel appears, you are being given a gift of light, even if it may seem to be a hidden blessing. A dark mystery is one that helps us learn that even if things don't seem to be working out according to the timing or the methods that we believe necessary, the light and love of spirit are unfailing. If a door is closed in your face, it is the wrong door for you. Divine love will ensure that the right door opens at the right time. When you encounter darkness, how you respond can make either the dark or the light victorious. You can choose doubt and fear, or you can force the darkness to serve the light by choosing trust and faith. You are spiritually advanced enough to trust unconditionally. That is the trust that burns bright not only when things appear good, but even when your mind thinks things seem to be heading in the wrong direction. Does unconditional trust mean that you give up if things get tough, assuming it's not meant to be? Of course not. Relying on unconditional trust and understanding the dark mystery, you are willing to go through periods of not knowing. You are willing to continue on your path even when you are not seeing immediate results, because in your heart you know it's right. This type of trust is powerful enough to release any separation between you and the universe. You know that even when the universe guides you into challenging territory, you shall benefit, grow in divine power, and become an amazing being, the being you are destined to be. As we realize how we have grown through the experience, turning what was once a source of pain into spiritual light, we masterfully transform our deepest pain into our greatest growth and spiritual accomplishment. We become true spiritual alchemists, releasing light from darkness. As you learn to put more faith in love than in fear, your trust becomes increasingly unconditional, and you find the light, even through the dark. In this way, you become initiated into the mystery of the dark angel. Then you can show others that this is possible. You can help heal others from victim consciousness and show them that inner peace is possible, even when they are facing the unpredictable twists and turns of life. If you've been going through a difficult time or struggling to heal an issue, the dark angel promises that even through the depths of despair, you shall find the light. In your own time, you will rise again into trust, restored faith and hope, and all will be well. I feel for person number 2, that person number 1 really is your dark angel, because you can have it all and not be happy, right? Quote unquote, have it all. They might do everything, provide everything, and you might not be happy. And being plunged into your darkest depths is where you break into your light, right? The beating in the reverse is this awareness or this realization that you can be free. I think if you didn't know what you wanted before and you had no real vision, that person number 1 is your dark angel and propelled you into such a low with yourself that you actually hit the rock bottom that becomes the platform from which you can only soar. And I think that there's a certain amount of gratitude that needs to be found for the experience of person number 1, because you wouldn't know how much you love the person you lost if you didn't experience them, right? This first person. And in regards to the lost person, right? The person number 2 feels so strongly connected to. They needed this experience, right? You had to release and let go because they were in their dark angel energy at the time, right? It wasn't the right time. The door had to close. It wasn't aligned then. It was the wrong time. There was healing that needed to be had. But if everything else was right and you were just missing the timing, I think the time would be right. I think if you were to hear from person number 2 and they were to literally have a conversation with you like that, that they see it now, that they realize it now, and that the only thing they can envision truly is what life would be like with you and nothing and no one else, that they're ready to commit to that, I think it's the right time. I think they had to be, I think they needed the visit from the dark angel. I think they needed that experience to propel them into the readiness that you needed from them. I think the time is right now. It wasn't right before, but I think the time is right now. And person number 1, I think you have to find gratitude for the fact that, yes, you are partner material, but that you do need to give it to the right partner. If person number 2 is your dark angel and teaching you that you deserve love, you deserve reciprocity, you deserve consideration, you deserve someone who cares, that you can't just endlessly pour into someone and it not be good enough, that you deserve to be good enough. That if you could embrace and find gratitude for person number 2 as your dark angel because you weren't willing or ready to admit to yourself that you need love too. You need love too. Love's a two-way street. It requires both people. I think if you find gratitude for person number 2, that you will be much better off moving forward with someone who is showing you all the green flags that you have been showing person number 2 the whole time. You know when someone's interested and invested because they do all of the things, they want to do all of the things that you were doing for person 2. You know the green flags because you've lived them. You've chosen them for yourself. And I think if someone is showing you all of those same considerate, green flag, high empath energies, I would hope that you reciprocate and not become person number 2, incapable of loving them because you were wounded in such a relationship dynamic, right? I think you need to find gratitude because you found what kind of love you're capable of. You just need to give it to the right person, right? This is a dark angel lesson. So hold gratitude for the experiences that shape you and help you truly find yourself and what it is and who it is that you want in this life. And don't be afraid to show yourself some mercy, because underneath of considerate, which was the bottom of the deck, we have self-mercy. Don't punish yourself. Don't punish yourself being with the wrong person. If you've learned a lesson and the timing is right, then be relationship-oriented, healing-oriented, right? Pink heart chakra energy and connect with who you need to connect with. Allow those doors to open, right? This is the key. The key, and the sun is under that. This is how you shine. This is how you find your light. Sometimes you have to go really deep into those dark places, those buried places, and heal. And this is the way the divine does it, right? This is the way the divine helps you heal. It says you weren't ready because this was not acknowledged, or this wasn't learned, or this had to go and this had to become important because what was unimportant needed to be realized as unimportant. You had to go through certain processes. Don't judge yourself or criticize yourself for your learning process. Everybody heals in a different pace, at different times, in different ways. And it's all love. We get there in the end. We get there in the end. We are not late. We are not late. We run on divine time. Alignment is alignment. You learn when you learn. It requires what it requires. Do not beat yourself up. Just be the best person that you can be today. And if you can be a better version of that tomorrow, great. If you can be a little bit better version of that the day after, great. As long as you're better today than you were yesterday and you're making those improvements every day, then it's no one's fucking place to judge you or your process or your pace. Be proud of yourself for growing. Some people refuse to do it at all. So kudos to you and love to you and support to you and your process. That's why we're here. Right? That's why this whole channel is here. So with that, I'm going to wrap this up. I will see you guys for Free Card Friday at 7:30. I have it scheduled. We'll be pulling guidance cards for 3 subscribers that pop into the live chat. I love you and I will see you then. Take care, everybody.